All right, we'll get started. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, this press conference. To begin the press conference, we'll have some comments from Executive Vice President and General Manager Chris Young.
Thank you, Rich. I want to start by thanking everybody for being here today for what is a really special day for our organization, but most importantly for our fans. We've talked about for a long time that we are committed to building a world championship organization, and today's announcement is a big step towards that goal. With that, I want to start by thanking our ownership group and specifically Ray Davis for his commitment to providing the resources for these types of transactions that help us get towards that goal. I could go on and on with an elaborate introduction about how much today means for everybody affiliated with the Rangers organization, but I think we can all feel what this means to us and our fans. We are extremely delighted to welcome Jacob DeGrom, his wife Stacy, his kiddos and his parents, and the entire DeGrom family to Texas. This is a tremendous thing for our organization, and we're looking forward to a great future together. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take questions now. Please wait for the mic and speak up, and please say your name and affiliation when asking the question.
Emily Jones, Rangers dugout reporter. Jacob, what was it about this particular situation that led you and your family here?
Going through the process, you set up meetings with teams, and whenever I found out the Rangers were one of those teams, I was really excited. And then, getting on a call with CY and Boch, hearing the vision of what the Rangers want to do, and ultimately getting to meet Ray and the vision here and bringing a World Series here. That's the goal, winning a World Series, and these guys all had that same vision, and it lined up with what I wanted to do. So, it was, they showed a ton of interest right in the start, and the feelings were mutual, and just very happy to be here.
How much was last offseason's activity by this club when you look at the signings of Simeon and Seager and the commitment that they showed then? Did that factor into the decision of where you thought this was going and how you thought you might be able to contribute?
Yeah, that definitely played a big role. They're signing great guys, great players, and it's going to be an exciting team. This part, is part of the process, but getting out there and meeting everybody's what I'm truly excited for, and taking the thfield with those guys. They're true professionals. Getting to play. I played against Seager for a while, and getting to know Marcus and the guys who are here showing support. Meeting those guys today seems to be an awesome group. So I can't wait to get things going.
Jacob, Evan Grant, Dallas Morning News. Can you elaborate any bit on what it was about that vision that Chris expressed to you that led you to come back, after Thanksgiving and say, let's move forward?
Yeah, it was the vision of building something special and winning for a long time. And, I want to play this game for a long time and want to win. And hearing that from CY and Boch, and, like I said, ultimately getting to meet Ray at the end, and everybody having that same vision, everything lined up, and this is where I wanted to be.
Hey, Jacob, Levi Weaver with The Athletic. It felt to a lot of us from the outside looking in, obviously, CY said that he was in touch with you pretty early on in the process, but it seems like the finish line happened pretty quickly. Can you give us any more of a rundown kind of on the timeline of how that finally came together at the end?
That's part of the business side of it, and that's it was exciting. In talking, we kept constant communication, and showing tremendous interest, from both sides. It felt like it was the right fit, and that's how it worked out.
Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Like you said, you want to be a part of a winning program, and you talk to them. But what did you know about the Rangers, and what did you think about the Rangers before those conversations?
You look at teams during the year. You're playing a bunch of teams, and you see that the directions those teams are going. So, like we said, with the signings of Marcus and Corey and the moves they're making as far as taking those steps to make something great here and continue winning baseball games and making that not just a one-year thing, but a goal for years in and out. So we're excited, and that was what we saw and chose Texas.
And as far as being part of that winning, putting that winning together, you coming back obviously from a couple of seasons, injured seasons. Talk about where you are and just being able to get yourself part of building yourself back up while being part of that.
Yeah, it's last year's was a weird injury, but finished the year strong, and the goal is to go out there and take the ball every fifth day for the Texas Rangers and put us in the best position I can to win those games.
Hi, Jeff Wilson with Rangers Today. How difficult is it to leave a ball club and make this decision that you had to make? Yeah,
That's not an easy decision. And, I spent the first 8+ years of my career with the New York Mets, and, I have to thank them for that. They'll always hold a special place in my heart, my wife's heart, my kids, from ownership to my teammates there, and the fans ultimately, they made me feel welcome there, and they played a big role in my career. So there'll always be a special place in my heart for the New York Mets and their fans, and it's just that's the part of the business of baseball with seeing what CY and, like I said, Boch and Ray were building here was something I wanted to be a part of.
What do you think about this ballpark?
Walking through it today, this place is awesome. It has everything you can imagine. The tour of it took 45 minutes to see everything. So the place, they didn't skip anything, and it's a unbelievable place to be.
Mac Engel, Fort Star Telegram. Chris, given the amount of money and the investments that you and Mr. Davis have done the last, I guess, calendar year, is a winning record in 2023 a reasonable expectation now?
Absolutely. That's our full expectation, not just a winning record, but we expect to push for a spot in the playoffs.
You mentioned the Mets and have in your heart. What are the sorts of emotions that come with closing one chapter of your life while also obviously beginning another?
Yeah, like I said, we're extremely excited to be here, and from me, Stacy, we thank Ray for ultimately getting me here, and it's part of it. Like I said, they'll always hold a special place, and they, I probably wouldn't be here today without them. So it's part of it, but this is where we decided we wanted to be.
Where did they figure into your last month or so as you started talking with other teams?
We were in contact with the Mets, and like I said, the Rangers did a great job of constant communication and making me feel like they really wanted me here. So, and the vision was the same, build something great and win year in and year out.
Jacob, I'm going to paraphrase CY here, and that's always dangerous. I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But in talking with him earlier this week, he one of the questions he felt like he needed to hear answered from you was how you felt about being part of the build-out, as opposed to just stepping into a rewarding situation. You were with a club that won 101 games last year. This club's averaged 98 losses the last 2 years. How did you kind of reason that out in your mind?
Just seeing what they were doing, the pieces that keep getting added, the goals to make it to the playoffs and win a World Series. You set expectations, and that's the vision and that's the goal. You can ask any of these guys that are here today, what is the goal? The goal is to win a World Series, and keep adding pieces and go out there and play baseball games and see what happens.
CY and Boch, how do you feel with the roster as it currently is, constructed? What more do you feel like you need to add, and how active will you be as the offseason continues?
Yeah, Emily, I think we've addressed several of our needs, things that we discussed coming into the offseason that were main goals for us, specific to starting pitching. However, we recognize that we feel like we need to always stay open-minded and continue to look to improve our roster. We feel very good about where we are in terms of our minor league system and the player development and the players that we have coming in time, but we're trying to win at the big league level, and to do that we need to continue to look to improve. So I think we'll reassess. It's been a busy week for us. We'll step back, reassess, and stay open-minded on all ways to continue to improve.
Yeah, I'll just add, to win in our game, you need pitching, and that was our priority, and we couldn't have a better guy to head up this rotation, and we've added to the rotation. So don't tell me we can't win. I think when you look at the end of the day at our rotation, we're going to have a chance to win every day, and that's all you can ask. And so we're definitely heading in the direction we need to, and it starts with the pitching. So I couldn't be more excited about what's going on today in this team and the rotation that has really improved. We're a much better club right now than we were just a few weeks ago.
Bruce, Jamie Newberg with The Athletic. Just to build on the last thing you said, you talked about CY's vision in a similar way to what Jacob just talked about. How important a part of that was the possibility of a day like this?
I thought it was critical. When you talk about a rotation, you need somebody or a couple of guys to lead the way, and somebody who has experience there, and Jacob certainly has that. And I know CY is still looking to find ways to even make us better. But when you look at our division, it's a tough division. Some really good teams here, and the only way you're going to play with those teams is you have a guy on the mound who matches up with those guys. So for me, that's where we really had to focus, and I can't give enough credit to CY and the work he's done to get Jacob here and improving this staff already. And so I feel very good. Don't tell me we can't win. When you look at our guys out on the field and the guy that we're going to put on the mound, I think every day we're going to have a chance to win, and I expect to contend, and that's my goal. It's our goal, and so we're going to feel like that every day.
Jacob, a lot's been made out of your age and the injury thing the last 2 years, and I realize a lot of that's come out of New York in the last couple of weeks. But why, in your mind, is this kind of commitment really not that big of a risk for the Rangers?
Yeah, because the goal is to go out there and make 30-plus starts every year. Like I said, the one in spring training was kind of a weird one, a broken or stress reaction in my scap. But once I came back, felt great. So the goal is to make 30-plus starts for the next 5-plus years here.
So you mentioned earlier sort of the sustainability of winning, and that's something that Chris has talked about quite a bit this offseason as well. And I think a big part of that is the next wave of starting pitchers coming up, whether it be Jack Leiter, Owen White, Kumar Rocker, those guys. In your words, how do you describe or consider your role as maybe a mentor to those guys as they are starting to hit the big leagues?
Yeah, that was something throughout my career that I had the privilege of being around a bunch of really good pitchers and learning from them. So that's obviously going to be something that I take pride in. If those guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll give you what I think, and we can talk about it in any way that I can help, and that's part of it. Any way that I'm needed in that sense, then I'm willing to do it.
Jacob, Jared Sandler, Rangers Radio. Your slider's a pretty unique pitch. I'm just curious how that pitch has kind of come together for you and what's been important for the growth of that pitch.
Yeah, that's I'm constantly working on stuff, constantly trying to find ways to get guys out. That's part of the game. Hitters are making adjustments and pitchers are also making adjustments to combat that. So that's always a work in progress, but having a lot of confidence in it and trying to make it look like my fastball for 59 feet is mainly the goal of it.
Jacob, Kennedy Landry with MLB.com. Bruce mentioned the other day that he remembers first meeting you at the 2015 All-Star Game in Cincinnati. I'm curious what you remember about first meeting Bruce and how big of an impact he can have on you here. Yeah,
Bruce has been there and won the World Series, so that was a big deal to me too. That's what he came back to baseball for, to win, and meeting him that was kind of a whirlwind at the 2015 All-Star Game. I was a little nervous. I had no clue what was going on, but saying hello to him and then playing against him when he was with the Giants and talking to him, getting to know him. They always had competitive baseball teams, and I think it starts with a good leader.
Hey, Jacob, John Moore with Rangers Today. Have you had a chance to talk with Mike Maddox, the new pitching coach?
Yeah, I've talked to him a couple of times. He's here somewhere, so we were just chatting on the way in and then a couple of phone calls. So looking forward, like I said, you're trying to learn from everybody around. You can always use some little piece of information from somebody to always try to improve your game. So definitely looking forward to working with Mike.
Jacob, Alex playing with Dallas Sports Fanatic. To follow up on that, have you had any previous interactions with Mike Maddox?
Not really. Kind of from across the way. But like I said, I'm excited. Anytime you can learn from somebody who's been in the game that long, it's going to be a treat. So looking forward to this opportunity.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Welcome, man. You're great. Nice work.